Hello everybody, it's me, Riffraff Hornhelm, and I'm back again with another presentation from the Dwarven Vault. And today we have a monster review. And the subject of our monster review today is the Storm Giant. And that's as brought to us by the original monster manual for use with basic Dungeons & Dragons and advanced Dungeons & Dragons, or what's typically known today as 1E. So the Storm Giant. The very coolest and most powerful and interesting of all the giants. Definitely the most powerful. 25 strength. Wow. That's pretty cool right there. That's by far the tallest of the giants. I mean, it's 21 feet tall. Now it has an armor class of 1. It has 15 hit dice, plus 2 to 7. And once again, what you're going to do is, it means it's an automatic 2, right? So you roll a 6-sided. Add 1 to the roll. That's how many additional hit points you'll have at the end of the 15 hit dice. 15 hit dice. That's a maximum of 120 points. This is a tough critter. Now, this one likes to hang out in mountain peaks and up in the clouds and very occasionally underwater. They can breathe underwater. Now, if they get into actual hand-to-hand combat with you, it's 7 to 42 points of damage per hit. Successful hit. It doesn't carry a weapon. It doesn't need to. Now, storm giants, unlike all other giants, don't like to throw rocks. They like to throw lightning bolts. And they can throw an 8-hit dice lightning bolt once a day. Which is pretty neat. They also have, because of course, living in cloud castles and tops of mountains, they can levitate themselves, plus an additional 30,000 gold pieces worth of weight. That's really significant. Very, very powerful. And of course, it has a number of spell abilities that it can use at least once a day. Their spell abilities include things like predict weather and summon winds and call down lightning. I think it's like 3 bolts, and they each do like 10 to 15 hit dice of damage, which is really significant. And they can like summon wind and so forth. And when they're aroused for combat, don't go there. When they're aroused for combat, they will use always call the lightning, and they'll summon the wind and so forth, and pretty much attack as a creature within the midst of a storm front and shooting lightning bolts. That's pretty scary stuff. They are not easy to deal with. If you catch them in their lair, there's no specific thing about them having females there. On a wandering shard, it's 1 to 4 of these. They're very rare. They're exceptionally intelligent, and they're good. They are, in fact, a chaotic good creature. Now, like all other giants, of course, they also have their guardians. They can have 1 to 2 rocks as creatures in their lair that they use as steeds. Wow, that's really impressive right there. Just amazing. Now, if they don't have those, they'll have something like, 4 to 6 griffins or something like that. And if they're underwater, they have neither of those. They would have sea lions instead. Now, the underwater aspect is really interesting, and it's one that I think I'm going to have to revisit because I've never used that. But it would be very interesting. Now, when they're underwater, if they attack and move, it's as if they are unobstructed. So normal move rate, the whole 9 yards underwater. That's also very difficult to deal with. Obviously, they can breathe underwater, they can move fast, they can attack normally underwater, use their magic normally underwater. Wow. Cool stuff. And of course, if you're dealing with these from a player standpoint, uh, if you have to go up against them, they're really going to suck. Now, if they're on your side, hey, wonderful, right? Now, from a Dwarven standpoint, we really don't deal with these at all. They don't live in the kind of places where we're liable to run into them. And yeah, I know all the stories about the bigger they are, the harder they fall. Well, the bigger they are, the more of us they can stamp flat with one stop. That's what we keep in mind. So we stay away from these as much as we can. But of course, we did go out to the greater Hornhelm community to ask about the Storm Giant. What did you guys think? I mean, as a character within Dungeons and Dragons, how do you rank it? Well, the DMs that I spoke to on this one said, oh yeah, this one's a toughie. And they rated it anywhere from an 8 to a 9. Now the players, when we talked to them, no doubt about it, they thought that this was a 8 to a 9 as well, but their comments were very favorable because more often than not they had managed to acquire the assistance of a Storm Giant, and of course that made just a huge difference. But a very, very powerful creature, and one that you do not want to get into a tussle with, but you definitely want to have on your side. So that, my friend, is the Storm Giant. Without question, the most powerful of all of the giant races. And of course, this now brings us to the conclusion of our episodes regarding giants. We encourage you to see them all. In any case, we hope you enjoyed today's presentation. If you did, please be so kind as to leave us a like. Consider subscribing if you haven't. Drop us a comment. Share with your friends. But most of all, come back and see us again real soon. Thank you so much for your kind support. Take care, everyone, and remember, dwarves rock!